So as previously mentioned, the plan is to relocate the battery from where it normally is in the engine bay. It's kind of normally there where my big air filter is, to behind the passenger seat, which said was kind of the best area to, you know, in the middle of the car, low down, out the way, out of the engine bay. Yeah, reasons. So what I've got the battery here, and I've also got a tray for the battery. This lovely, there's like dimple dies in it and some nice welding, and it's a really nice piece from a motor mech. So the plan is to bolt this to the floor of the brake. If we look at the underside, there's no holes to mount it, so on each side, here and here, we will drill some holes and we will bolt it to the floor. So the thing to consider is whether I want to just use a nut and bolt, just drill holes in the floor and use nut and bolts just to, you know, hold it in place, or I've got a new tool, might use these for a few things, rivnuts, rivnut gun. So the good thing about these is you don't need to use a nut and a bolt, so you don't need to go on both sides of whatever you're bolting. You can just screw a bolt straight in, nice and easy, so it makes it a lot easier to fit. And this should come in handy. I'll potentially use it for the battery tray, but I can also potentially use it for the ECU if it's going to be somewhere difficult to get a nut on one side and a bolt on the other, for example on the bulkhead. And similar situation with the accelerator pedal as well, that I'm going to make a bracket for, or maybe even just, you know, use the riv nuts for that. So yeah, riv nuts could be an option. So we're just gonna have a look and see a good place to mount this. But the back of the brake is a bit of a dumping ground, so I think first I might have to make a little bit of space just to get access to that area of the floor. Yeah, when you have a project car, things just become dumping grounds. Look, I've got like the old driver's seat in here even, loads of just random bits, and then down here, now 28, way. Oh, what else have we got? We've just got like bits of like coil packs, fuel injectors, yeah, brake lines, ECU, track rod ends, brake pads, brake calipers, you name it. Let's see what's on now 28. Can we see that? Wow. Tunes. Just before we start, I've offered the battery up into the tray and it fits very nicely as per kind of what I ordered. However, with the bolts here, that's not going to work, because the whole point of this is to hold the battery in place, and it's too tall, so we're going to just need some longer bolts and then we should be good. Well, I don't have any M6s that are quite long enough. That's the only one. It's not quite long enough, and I've only got one. So what I'm going to do is upgrade to an M. I think this is an M10. Because I think that's a 16 mil head. So I think that's an M10, should be an M10. So it doesn't fit in these holes. So I've got the step drill out. I'm going to drill to 10 mil. We'll drill out to the 10 and we should be good. Wow. Keeps focusing on the red block in the background. R.I.P. While I'm on, just measured 15 mil, give or take. No, again. Nope. 15 mil. Ow! Stop it. 15 mil. Thank you. And we're just going to mark out an area to drill our holes, and I'm going to drill M8 or 8 mil holes for the mounting. Well, our M8 rivet or rivnut is just a little bit smaller than 11 mil. So I'm going to drill 11 mil holes and then that should work well. So let's go in and see where we need to drill our holes. Okay, so I've purposefully put the passenger seat in the furthest back position. This isn't like where the seat's going to be when I'm drifting, but I need to know that I can slide the seat all the way back, because it really does help remove the seat whenever I need to. At some point I'm going to be putting a bucket seat in anyway. You can see I've got the bolt there, and then on this side as well, the other bolt. So you do need to slide it back pretty much all the way to get easy access to the bolts to remove the seat. So when I'm drifting, this is going to be further forward, and I'll have a nice bit of room. But the only thing is, doing this, I've realised I don't have quite as much space as I thought. So basically I'm mounting it further back than I originally just thought by, you know, eyeballing off memory or whatever. I thought I might have had it a bit further that way, but now I'm going to have it pretty much, I think, oh, there's a little gap there. It's like it was meted for it. I am going to have shorter bolts, so the bolts are going to finish. Well, this is going to be higher up for starters, but the bolt will be shorter. But that might help us a little bit. So I've got my 4 holes that I've drilled in the base. Like you saw me drill. M8 holes. So we just need to put this in the position where I want. Use a marker to mark the 4 holes, and then I know where I need to drill my 8 mil holes. No, not 8 mil holes, 11 mil holes. So the M8 bolt is going to go through those 8 mil holes through the rivnut, which is going to require an 11 mil hole. Let's have a look on the underside. The only thing I was thinking was, is the fuel filter or brake lines in the way? This, hang on, I'll zoom out a little bit. This here is where I'm going to be drilling the holes. This, like, see this cross section? That's the floor behind the passenger seat. And if you see, the fuel filter is there. I had put a new one in. Well done, Andy. And yeah, we've got fuel lines, brake lines further inboard in the car. I don't think it's going to cause any issues at all. We've basically just got a free area to drill through. If we go too far back, we've got this, but that's not going to be in the way, so there's no concerns really about the underside or anything being in the way. So all I'll do is drill from the top side down once I've marked the position. looks a little bit better. It doesn't need to be clean, but it's been a dumping ground and a, you know, suffered 2 years worth of drift days and drift land and all sorts. And this absolutely never ever gets cleaned. So, you know, there's a couple of years worth of rubbish removed. And then if you see, get you in there. There's like an edge across there, which is just the sound deadening. I think I'm just going to follow that. Just leave it in line with it there. Then we're in a pretty nice position, because here, after the sound deadening starts curving up, so I'll be nicely on the flat there. So I'll just put it roughly in the middle. Doesn't really matter, it doesn't need to be by the millimetre perfect, but we'll get close as we can with an eyeball. So this is the gun here, and then got your mandrel there, so we'll slide it. Yeah, go. Is that reverse thread? It's reverse thread, Andy! Come on. Come on! And then the big end. Where does the big end go? Onto here. So now we've got this here to go onto this bit that I've just screwed in. Is that right? Oh, we're upside down. So that bit goes on there like that, and then that screws in. Is that also reverse thread? Yes, it is. Lefty tighty, lefty tighty. What's the world coming to when we're doing lefty tighty? Lefty tighty means righty loosey, and righty loosey is never a good day. What is that on my head? It's from headbutting the underside of my car, I think. So professional, Andy, so professional. Right, we've got this in here. This goes on there and screws on. I don't know why I'm doing this camera angle, but oh, that is righty tighty. Okay, so now I think it's just a case of chucking this in the hole and pulling the trigger. So this is just the safety, I think. So yeah, safety's off. Whoop. Oh. So I think we'll chuck that in the hole and snap. So let's see how that goes. We don't need to read instructions around here. Just drilled the hole a little bigger. Not bigger, but I've gone back in with the 11. And we're in. Happy days. Can you see it? Yeah, kind of. Threaded hole. Yeehaw. So you can see there we're on the underside of the car. So it does like stick out of the floor, but it's sandwiched between like the floor. That's what is holding it in. So I mean, obviously there's no issue with like ground clearance or anything, but just does stick out there. But now that's the interior through there. So basically we've just got a nice threaded hole in our floor, which is what you want, because you can't like thread this metal here. Obviously it's not thick enough, so with just a thin piece of metal you've then got a hole with a thread. Witchcraft. Small tap with a big hammer is better than a big tap with a small hammer. Google talk. Threaded holes for our battery tray. Have to sit. Let's clear my forehead. Anyway, first experience with the old rivnut gun. Pretty good. Quite like it. I think it's a likely option when you've got just a thin piece of sheet metal. For example, like perfect example is the bulkhead firewall. You can't. Not really possible to use a nut and a bolt to drill a hole and use a nut and a bolt, because you're going to have to be at both sides at the same time. It's not really possible unless you've got two people. Even then, not very accessible. So I think, you know, obviously I know I've done it on the floor for the battery tray in this case, but I think for like bulkhead thing, I think it's really good. We'll offer the battery tray up and see if our measurements have worked. Measure twice, cut once, drill once. By the way, look at my t-shirt. Another one from Swedish Boost Mafia. This is the Moose Lee t-shirt. So you can see Moose Lee, Way of the Wagon, instead of Way of the Dragon. Get it? And Bruce Lee, Moose Lee. Top level punnage from Swedish Boost Mafia. This t-shirt is available on the Swedish Boost Mafia website. You can find them on Instagram as well. I'll put the thing here, and I'll do the link in the thing, and I'll do the thing in the thing for Swedish Boost Mafia. But you see there, it's got like a 240 wagon with a moose with nunchucks, and you see like the front view and the rear view of the brick as well. SBM on the back there, all the details, blue and yellow for Sweden as well. I mean, what more could you want? Also, like, I mean, I'm a bit slimmer than I was, and a little bit. I did a few press ups, but this is the small. It is quite small, so I would kind of. It's like small. I recommend going a size up. If I was to, well, this was kindly gifted by Swedish Boost Mafia, by the way. He sent us a couple of t-shirts last year at some point. I wear this literally all the time, and quality is absolutely great. The fit's really good, like the neck. A lot of my t-shirts, like the neck just goes really loose and baggy. You know, or sometimes they're like, the t-shirts are too short. This is just nice and long, nice fit. Strongly recommend. This wasn't really a plan to turn into an advert for Swedish Boost Mafia, but there you go. You're welcome. There's very like kind of ADHD of me where I'm talking about one thing and then I just get distracted by my t-shirt that I'm looking at on my own phone, and then I just go out off on a total tangent. Right, let's have a look at this and see if our battery tray fits. Oh, I need some M8 bolts. Of a short size, short length. I don't know if I've got any. Let's see if we can find some short M8 bolts. I found them. I didn't know if I had none or a million. I think I've got a million. Lots of bolts, not many washers, but hopefully these M8 by 20 mil will go straight in. Just offer this up first, just to make sure it goes in. Oh, that's a win. At least the right thread pattern. And just point the terminals towards the front of the car, just since that's the direction that that's the direction the cables are going to go. Whether they go underneath the seat or down the side along the doors or up by transmission tunnel, and then I'm not sure, but we'll have a look at some more battery relocating things in a moment. Yeah, voila, one mounted battery. These are only finger tight for now, but I mean, that's not going anywhere. So Brickers, while we have the battery installed in the car, that's not the full job complete. We are relocating the battery, so we need to run extra cables. So I've got some nice thick cables here. This will be for a future episode, but essentially we need to use a special tool to crimp connections on the end of our cable. Then we need to run these back through the bulkhead from the battery that's now behind the passenger seat. And in order to do that, we've got these two connections here, like kind of quick disconnects. So just pull this off, there we go. So that's inside the car, and then this is in the engine bay, and then you've just got this here. So you drill a hole through the bulkhead, and then you just pop that through, and then from the inside you screw this on, and then that holds it in place. And then you've got your permanent connection here, which is most likely a spade connection on the inside, which is coming straight from the battery. And this side you'll have a quick disconnect, which is in the engine bay. So we've got our cable, we've got our connections, and we've got a load of accessories as well just to facilitate the job. We've got like spade connections, like normal battery clamps, some slightly thinner wire. I think this is for like the starter motor and stuff. Yeah, some cheap shields and stuff, probably won't use that. So yeah, that'll be in a future episode. But for now, we have the battery relocated in the car, and the next job will be to look at mounting the ECU. Follow, subscribe, all the things. I see you.